The semifinals are set, and the four remaining teams are still have their hope to hutch alive. It's an interesting matchup with both these games. The first game starting at 6 o'clock Eastern. The second game starting at 8 o'clock Eastern, or about 20 minutes after the first game ends. The four remaining teams, like I said, still have their dreams of going to hutch alive. But before we jump into that game, let's go ahead and look back at Monday's games, where we had four games, all at INA, all at Rend Lake College. And let me just say this to the staff at Rend Lake. That court redesign, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I've seen it a couple of times, but I think this is the first time I really saw it in full, and it is so amazing. And if you get a chance to look at it, the games on Leblond production, the midcourt is going to be the picture of Rend Lake. It is an actual lake in Illinois called Rend Lake. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first game of Vincennes versus Lakeland. And before we start the recap of the quarterfinal, let's go ahead and talk about the playing game, where Lakeland led by 2 at the break and only made a run of it, both teams scoring over 60 points in the second half. But the Knights just fall 1 point short at a 91-90 victory. Like we mentioned, because we talked about Lakeland in the opening, for Olney Central, they were led by Jaden Eldridge, who was 8 of 15 shooting from the field, all behind the arc. He finished with 24 points. Kassan Nash actually led the way with 6 of 14 shooting from the field, 11 of 13 from the foul line, grabbing 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He finished with 24 points. Jordan Babcock, he was 5 of 14 shooting from the field, 4 of 12 from behind the arc. He finished with 16 points, 8 assists, and 3 rebounds. Gabe Johnson was 6 of 12 shooting from the field and had 10 rebounds and 17 points. For Lakeland, we'll quickly go over their scoring. There's only 3 people. Lavelle Nash off the bench, 8 of 13 from the field, with 4 rebounds and 16 points. Starter-wise, it was the Peyton Baird and Keenan Gray show. Baird was 8 of 12 shooting from the field, finishing with 27 points, 6 steals, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Keenan Gray was 8 of 17 shooting from the field, grabbing 6 defensive rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. That led up to the 1 o'clock matchup between Lakeland and Vincennes. You see the first half score. When I was watching this and I saw the first half score, I was thinking, oh my goodness, the 1 seed curse for the Trailblazers is real. And we got bit by it again as a Trailblazers former manager. We got bit by it again. I can't believe this. They were able to come back in the second half, and about the 15-minute mark, took the lead for good and rattled off 52 points in the second half, winning 94-80. This is the only time I will not get mad at any college or the NJCAA for not posting stats, even though I think there should be an NJCAA person at the venue being able to do stats, but c'est la vie. No stats for Lakeland. Let's go ahead and quickly jump to the 1 seed Vincennes and talk about them. Then we'll jump into Lakeland, because I do have something for that, even though it is not box score stats. All 5 starters for the Trailblazers in double figures. Lorenzo Malinini, 5 of 7 shooting from the field, finishing with 11 points and 4 rebounds. Elijah Lovemore, 4 of 6 shooting from the field, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, finishing with 14. Then you have Dayton Williams, 6 of 14 shooting from the field, 2 of 5 from behind the arc, grabbing 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal, finishing with 19 points. Jalen Calloway, 7 of 18 shooting from the field, grabbing 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and finishing with 21 points. Finally, Dre Vassar, 7 of 13 shooting from the field, 8 of 8 from the foul line, finishing with 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 23 points. Off the bench, Coach Franklin didn't get any help off the bench. Let's go ahead and talk to... I did pull up Dave Hunter's blurbs that he sends everybody, and I just, in case there was any information anybody did not want, I just copy-pasted it to Microsoft Word. That's all I did. So, we talked about Vincennes. Lakeland, they finished 9-20 on the year. They got 17 points each from Aiden Swinson and Keenan Gray, and 14 points by Keioku Teyama. Vincennes was strong from the free throw line, 25-35. Lakers went 10-14. This win, and I will say this, even though we're talking Hutch implications here and a season ending for Lakeland, Dave Hunter, Nick Nielsen mentioned this in their various posts, and you see it on the screen. This win puts VU past Hutchinson, Kansas, for the top spot in the NJCAA all-time wins list. This was the Blazers' 1,957th all-time victory, their record being 1,957 and 596. While Hutchinson finished is 1,956 and 671. They finished this season 14-17 and with a loss to Cowley last Saturday, 61-60. So Vincennes can still increase their all-time win list. And again, this goes out to all the previous coaches, Coach Franklin currently, Coach Davis, Dave, all the supporters for the Trailblazers, the people that you don't think about, the managers, all them that gave up their time, the AD, everybody on the Vincennes side of things. Congratulations. Vincennes is the all-time winningest program in NJCAA history, and they look to extend that all-time victory margin to 2 games on Saturday. Up next, we have the 4-5 matchup, SWIC versus Lincoln Trail. And let me tell you, this game was as entertaining as the Vincennes-Lakeland game to start the first half of the Vincennes game. SWIC led at the break 33-28, and they led by as many as 14 points with as late as about the 13-minute mark left go in the second half. Before Lincoln Trail came back, scoring 46 points in the second half and winning by 10, 74-64. Let's go ahead and talk about the Statesmen, who will be taking on the Vincennes Trailblazers tonight. Mike White, it was the Mike White show. 10 of 18 shooting from the field, 6 of 12 from behind the arc, grabbing 7 rebounds, 6 of them being on the defensive side of the ball, 2 assists, 1 steal, and finishing with a team-high 31 points. Holy goodness. Jared Jackson didn't want to wanted to get in the scoring process as well. He was 6 of 14 from the field, having 6 assists and 3 rebounds. He finished with 15 points. Jalen Ellis, not to be denied, he was in double figures with 11 points off of a 5 of 10 shooting performance, grabbing 6 rebounds as well and an assist. Kenny Hunter Jr. almost was in double figures for the Statesmen. 3 of 4 shooting from the field, making 1 3, having 5 rebounds and 8 points. For SWIC, again, can't really get mad at him. This game was yesterday, although, like I said in the Vincennes one, I think that the NJCAA should have at least somebody keeping stats so their website can be up to date. So let's go ahead and look at what Dave Hunter said about this game. And we won't touch too much on the Statesmen because we just talked about them. For SWIC, they finished the season 15-16. They got 20 points from Matthew Cuprelzi and 16 by Daquan Little, as well as 13 points from Nick Horace and 10 points by Dylan Caven. Again, they led by 5 at the break, and they were leading till about the 13-minute mark. And again, this one was very interesting to see happen because the Statesmen just kept shooting. They just kept going, and they were able to find a way to win. And that's all you need to do in this at this point in the season is just find a way to win. Lincoln Trail was able to do that, and as Dave said, they took control late in that game. I say about the 13-minute mark is when they made their comeback. And so it is going to be Lincoln Trail versus Vincennes, round 3 Vincennes had the season sweep. So going into tonight's game is going to be very interesting. And that game is, once again, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and I will talk about it after I recap the rest of the quarterfinals. Then you have the John A. Logan Volunteers as the 2 seed, taking on the 7 seed Kaskaskia. Again, weird that they have the 2-7 being the third matchup of the day instead of the final matchup, but it's how it's always been. Logan controlled this game from opening tip to final horn after about the 5-minute mark. Kaskaskia tried. Boy, did they try. 43-35 lead for the Volunteers at the break. The Blue Devils just couldn't overcome it, and Logan was able just to extend it in the second half, winning 98-77. And again, no stats for Kaskaskia. We'll talk about them here after we talk about the Volunteers. The 2 seed advancing to the semifinals tonight. It was the Cameron McDaniel show, 14 of 21 shooting from the field, 4 of 7 from behind the arc, with 4 rebounds and a team-high 32 points. Let me click on that. Then you had Christian Dorr, 7 of 16 shooting from the field, having 5 defensive rebounds of his 7, also grabbing 4 assists. He finished with 17 points. Justice Decker had the 14 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds as well. 4 of 8 shooting from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. And what was great about his was while Dorr had 2 offensive rebounds, 5 defense, you reverse it, and that's what Decker had. 5 offensive rebounds, 2 defensive rebounds. And finally, the last Volunteer starter in double figures was Marcus East, 3 of 10 shooting from the field, 4 of 4 from the stripe, grabbing 2 rebounds, an assist, and a steal, finishing with 10. Off the bench for Coach Smith-Peters, it was Darkel Payne, 4 of 9 shooting from the field, 2 of 5 from behind the arc, finishing with, like I said, 10 points. Taylor Smith was almost in double figures with 8, off of a 4 of 6 shooting performance. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. Now, I will say, this one was kind of to be expected. Coming into this game, Logan was winners of 15 of their last 16 games. They get win number 20, and it was really the first blowout of this tournament. For Kaskaskia, they finished their year at 16-15, with Miles Liddell scoring 18 points. Alan Myers followed with 17 points, and Kenyon Garrett Miller with 15 points, and 10 points by Jared Mackey. Once again, Logan led by 8 at the break. And again, it was just interesting to see Logan able to take control after about the 5-minute mark, after the team started trading punches a little bit. Logan locked in, and they were able to just ride that all throughout the game. And the final quarterfinal game pitted the Wabash Valley Warriors against the Shawnee Saints, and this one was the surprise. Like I said, the 3-6 matchup, both these games came to single-digit outcomes in the regular season. I saw a chance of Shawnee winning, but I didn't think it would actually happen. To be completely honest, I thought Wabash, they were healthier, they had more men off the bench, and I just thought that Shawnee, with all their injuries, it was going to come down to hope and pray, but they were able to pull out a huge victory, and it's going to be fun to see how much further this can go for the Saints. The Saints led by 11 at the break, 39-28, and scored 39 points in the second half to win 78-60. Let's go ahead and look at the Saints. Starting scores was James DeLosh. He was 11 of 23, 3 of 6 from behind the arc, 8 of 10 from the foul line, having 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, finishing with a team-high 33 points. So we've seen 31 points out of Mike White from Lincoln Trail. Then we saw 32 points, and now we see 33 points here. Tyree Jackson was in double figures with 5 of 8 shooting performance, 3 of 6 from the foul line, grabbing 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and finishing with 13 points. The last starter that was almost in double figures was Zayden Green. He was 2 of 7 from the field, both of them being from behind the arc, 8 points, like I said. 2-2 from the foul line, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. The biggest other one here was Israel Welton. He's stepped up with all the injuries, 6 of 12 shooting, 3 of 6 from behind the arc, having 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and he finished with 15 points. For the Wabash Valley Warriors, again, going to say that, no stats available. So let's go ahead and see what Mr. Hunter had to say about this game. For the Wabash Valley Warriors, they finished 15 and 13. They got 12 points each from Taj Ford and Michael Dempsey. Ford scored 11 of his total in the first half, so he was held in check in the second half. Dempsey's came from behind the arc. Mohamed Diaby had 11 points on the night, and that's all Mr. Hunter has. Again, Shawnee pulling out the huge upset because they only have 8 healthy players, and it's going to be very interesting to see how those 8 healthy players are going to battle against Logan. Let's go ahead and jump into our 2 semifinal matchups and catch my thoughts on that now. Now, with the semifinal set, let's go ahead and talk about these 2 games. This is a rematch from the 23-24 season, where Vincennes beat Lincoln Trail, as Lincoln Trail was the 9th seed, Vincennes was the top overall seed then as well. This one is going to be a lot more different teams, obviously, but Lincoln Trail has played Vincennes extremely tough, especially in the second meeting between these 2 teams. Vincennes did sweep the season series, but like I said, the first game was back all the way in December, and Vincennes won that one 77-59. In February, at Lincoln Trail, Vincennes was able to pull out a 65-60 victory. They led big in that one, and Lincoln Trail was able to come back. Vincennes has had a couple of problems putting teams away. In this game, or in this season so far, I've seen it against SWIC a couple of times. I've seen it against Lincoln Trail, and they've been bitten by the upset bug in Kaskaskia. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Again, now that Vincennes has that game under their belt at Nina, I think this does favor the Trailblazers. They're playing for seeding at this point. Coach Franklin said it after the SWIC win. I don't see how you keep them out, and I agree, especially after their quarterfinal win, where that's when they normally get bumped out of the tournament. If it's not the championship round, they advance past the quarterfinals into the semifinals. Vincennes is going to be a very tough opponent to play. I think they'll pull it out. Wouldn't be surprised if they do get upset, though. As Lincoln Trail, like I said, the only way they can continue their season is to continue to win. Vincennes, again, I just don't see how you keep them out of the national tournament. But it's going to be interesting to see. Once again, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Leblond Media is covering it, and I will put that link down in the description. Then in the second semifinal, you have Shawnee, the 6th seed, the injured team, taking on the 2 seed and the favorite, the John A. Logan College Volunteers. This is going to be a tough game for the Saints. Both times that they played Logan, they've lost big. The first time being back in February 16th, they lost 92-72. And then just a week ago, they played at Rend Lake, so both teams having that going for them, and Logan won that one 81-58. So, again, winning 3 times is hard. If a team can do it, I think it will be the Logan Volunteers. And again, it's just because Shawnee is hurt. I mean, you're down to 8 players. How much more gas is left in your tank is going to be the biggest question. Now, if Shawnee can win this one, it's going to be the biggest upset, and I think that will be bigger than the Vincennes Kaskaskia upset. But with that being said, I just don't see it happening. My thought is that we're going to see another Vincennes versus Logan championship game. But yeah, it's just going to be, I think this is going to be Logan. I don't think it's going to be close, unfortunately. I think it might be within 10 points, maybe 15. But I think Logan's going to control the pace the entire way. So there you have it, the quarterfinal recap and the semifinal preview. Again, semifinals start 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Central Time. And that is Vincennes versus Lincoln Trail. The Shawnee Logan game will be following that as soon as that game ends. Give them 20 minutes to warm up on the floor, and then that game will be there. The Leblond Media Production Group is covering the entire district like they have in the past. Again, that's going to be down in the description, and I will pin it like I did the Lincoln or the Lakeland game against Olney Central. But again, it's going to be fun. Day 2 in Ina is always fun when we hit the semifinals. And we got a couple of good storylines. We have the team that is playing for a seed in the national tournament, and then we got 3 teams playing for their lives. One of them being the hottest team in the country in the John A. Logan Volunteers, winning now 16 of 17. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to do it for this episode, and I will see you after the semifinals. Until then, peace.